Hello, I'm Paul Tice, and welcome to What is the Soul, Part 7, where we'll continue to discuss the highest form of consciousness, which is found within your soul. Pure consciousness is hard to experience because we use our normal everyday consciousness instead. This higher form, this God consciousness, is a unity, but in order to let us function here in the physical world, it was split into a duality. So this pure consciousness is dependent on this duality-based world to function and is therefore less easy to access. When pure consciousness was fractured, it was not lost, however, due to its holographic nature. We can all experience it. Finding our way back to God means finding the path out of conflicting duality into the oneness of God. It is the soul that can recognize this, because the soul is composed of pure consciousness and is our connection to God. But we live in darkness and fail to see this. God is not a man sitting on a big throne up in the sky with a long white beard. The true God is the foundation of the entire universe, which is composed of pure consciousness and light. Before the Big Bang, God was a complete oneness with no action, only potential. So God chose to expand out into the physical universe through the Big Bang in order to discover what this potential means. So now, consciousness is playing itself out through every possible variation. Our planet, with its amazing diversity of life, the cycles of nature, and the great innovations of mankind, are all central components of this conscious discovery. When God created a structure of duality in order to explore itself and make things happen, its pure consciousness became fragmented and diluted, with our normal consciousness as the result. We have free will, so God does not control us. We act for ourselves. We can make mistakes or do terrible things because a constant play of opposites has been manifested on a lower level of consciousness. So we are free to choose between them. Nothing can happen without opposing forces. This explains evil in the world. There is no choice but to have this play between good and evil. All things have their opposites. We're here to experience them and learn from them. So the strong and wise show kindness and compassion, and the weak and ignorant do violence and evil deeds. One day, when mankind finally gets it, we'll move beyond this. One's higher self, or soul, which is an observer, witnesses everything through you. The consciousness of God is finding itself, defining itself, and we are that consciousness split into separate souls or pieces. Our souls are all part of God. This is what Jesus meant when he said in John 10:30, "I and the Father are one." He could see it for himself. We still have to learn it. According to the Sufi teacher, Hazrat Inayat Khan, when Muhammad was asked, "What is the soul?" he answered in two words, Amre Allah, which means an activity of God. So it's the same basic message in Christianity and Islam, found in other places in these two faiths. These were just two examples, along with Hinduism and Buddhism, and found in the deepest teachings of most every religion worldwide. The pure consciousness of God is within us, not out of reach, because the universe, again, is a hologram. Everything in it, all beings and objects, contain the original blueprint of the Creator. Once you realize God observes through your soul, it becomes possible for you to reverse this process. So in addition to God observing outwardly through your soul, you can look inward to the soul and experience God consciousness. It's called enlightenment. The soul is your path to God. No belief system or religion owns the path to God exclusively, despite what they might tell you. Some religions will have you believe that God is watching you from up in a cloud somewhere, waiting to punish you so you might turn to their belief system for protection. But God watches from within you, not without you, so you have nothing to fear and no need to run to anyone or any belief system for protection if you embrace the oneness God provides within you, which does not manifest as a threat, but as love and compassion. God is a God of love. And any religion that promotes the fear of God is a farce or misguided. The purveyors of mainstream knowledge don't want you to know that God is within you for two main reasons. One, the masses and most of you watching this, including the purveyors themselves, are hypnotized by the outer world and not ready to find the real inner truth. So the consensus they promote is that everyone should remain asleep. And two, our hidden connection to the consciousness of God is no doubt a proven scientific truth to those in high places, as evidenced in the last talk. But revealing this could upset our religions throughout the world. None of our religions, however, have proved to be a reliable answer to the world's problems. Our religions have caused us trouble and are continuing to do so. It's been said that more people have been killed throughout history because of religion than from any other cause. At some point, we need to officially discover the truth of who we really are, update our belief systems, and bring ourselves together once and for all, despite the political and economic advantages for remaining in the dark. The cure for famine, warfare, suffering, and environmental destruction lies within us and not out there through governments or belief systems. The answers won't be realized as long as we remain blind to our souls. Only by discovering the hidden oneness within us and working with it will we overcome the conflicts and violence and duality that rules the world. So far, we're really good at being blind to our own souls. All beings have a soul, but mankind has the most conscious souls of all beings, and therefore harbors the largest portion of the consciousness of God. Other life forms are also part of God, but with less consciousness. When mankind exhausts this realm of separation and finally learns that we are all one, then we will collectively return to the source, but as the fullness of God, with its consciousness fully realized. Mahatma Gandhi, one of the greatest spiritual giants to have ever lived, seemed to agree when he said, "I am part and parcel of the whole, and I cannot find God apart from the rest of humanity." So, we are all in this together. On an individual level, we also strive to fully realize and know our own conscious selves, because we are mirroring the consciousness of God. Once you know the bigger cosmological picture, it becomes easier to understand your own soul and its purpose. Albert Einstein once said, quote, "A human being is part of the whole, called by us universe. A part limited in time and space, he experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separate from the rest, a kind of delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection to a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty." Unquote. So, doesn't God embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature? Einstein is saying that we are striving for the oneness of God and need to escape this lower form of dualistic consciousness, which is a delusion. I quote him often because his mystical ideas offer clues to the next step on our path, and I believe are consistent with the Neoplatonist cosmology of oneness and what I teach about the soul. Your soul has a higher intelligence than your normal conscious mind. It has great wisdom and can guide you in critical moments. This consciousness is not what you think it is. It is a powerful form of consciousness, which it defines you in many ways, but has, in its pure and basic form, nothing to do with the thinking process. When the brain dies, this consciousness is what continues to live on. Those who experience this consciousness find it beyond the realm of thought, and often describe their encounter with it as an awakening, a powerful spiritual awakening. All that's really happened in this moment of enlightenment is that one has encountered their soul face to face. The soul is part of God, so by experiencing one's soul, one encounters their connection to God directly. The entire goal of religion, which is a soul-searching process, has suddenly been reached. It has often been said that God is within you, which is true. In order to find God, one must first find their true self. That is the path to God, not any particular religion. No matter how successful it is, has become in cramming their dogma down people's throats. It is an internal process. God is not found at the center of the physical universe through a telescope, or through any man-made external belief system, or a religion that some people go around trying to brainwash you with. Sure, you can be led to God through an external belief system, but without the internal connection to your soul, your mind will run in circles and latch onto a belief or a system of belief rather than a true experience. The belief will be a fake, a counterfeit to what one is truly seeking. Only a direct experience can verify what one seeks. Otherwise, it's just hearsay. But many will never give up their beliefs because these beliefs are comforting to them. The idea of a direct experience with God scares the hell out of many people. They'd rather be comfortable. And when one is asleep, they are very, very comfortable. We all have God within us. So do you want to be comfortable with a mere belief in God, or do you want to go further and have the experience? Every single one of us has God within us, including you, and especially you. God and His pure consciousness can be experienced because in a hologram, each separate part can experience the whole. So you are capable of experiencing the wholeness of pure consciousness. It's within you. Those who experience pure consciousness will tell you that it is an amazing wholeness and totality they've connected to. Most people, however, remain in the dark. Before we go, here's an easy one-time exercise to do that is based on one's place in the universe and the all-pervading consciousness that is around you. Write this next part down, replay it or record it in your own voice, and bring it with you to use. Here it is. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted, with as much nature around you as possible. Where there's a bench, table, a tree to lean up against, or a rock that offers a comfortable place to sit. Before sitting, face in the first of 4 directions, north, then east, south, west, and we'll proceed clockwise. Take a very deep breath and exhale while looking as far off into the distance of each direction as possible. Then look for about 10 seconds from the horizon back to you before going to the next direction. After you've faced each direction, sit down and watch everything all around you, knowing for the first time that everything around you is conscious. Dwell on that. It is all consciousness in varying degrees, but it's awake and aware with the consciousness of God. Maybe not your kind of consciousness, but the consciousness of God is in everything. Study your surroundings and tune into it. Now move your attention inward. Be aware that through the pure consciousness of your soul, God is observing it all through you. Dwell on this for a while. Take it all in. Experience it fully and be in the moment. Now, when you feel you are done, get up and walk away, having experienced your true place in the universe. The purpose of this talk was to provide a further understanding of pure consciousness, so you could experience it in this exercise and through other means later. So we've reached the end of this talk, but we'll see you next time.